Welcome back. This is Mark Rudov, branding advisor to CEOs and author of 3 books, Be Unique or Be Ignored, Brand is Destiny, and Intra-Branding, the keystone of corporate agility. If you want to know what's going on inside your company or what's not going on inside your company, read Intra-Branding. Okay, I couldn't let this go. Eric Adams, the clown mayor of New York City, who mostly gets stoned and goes to parties and wears aviators, like another clown we know who wears aviators and doesn't do any good for this country. Eric Adams recently said that New York has a brand and Kansas doesn't. Watch.
We have a brand. New York has a brand. And when people see it, it means something. You know, when we go there, it's not, Kansas doesn't have a brand. When you go there, okay, you're from Kansas. No. Well, you know what? But New York has a brand. It has a brand.
What you just saw was an egotistical, narcissistic fool, a clown. And he says that New York has a brand. Well, he's right about that. I want you to watch this clip, which I reduced from hours and hours and hours of tape to 3.5 minutes. I want you to see what New York's brand really is. Watch.
Right now, Fox 5's Crime in the City. Here's what's happening. A 15-year-old boy was fatally shot inside a park in Brooklyn minutes after leaving school on Wednesday afternoon.
This prolonged problem of violence continues even after we head into a new school year. That 15-year-old boy leaving his high school just blocks from this park. He sat on one of these park benches and was shot tonight.
If you commit a crime in New York City, there's a high probability that it will be caught on camera. The NYPD is releasing disturbing surveillance videos almost every day.
Violent video after violent video, some are hard to watch. Who could forget this horrific shooting? A gunman opening fire on a Bronx street. 2 children are caught between the gunman and his target. The shooter just continues shooting. In this one, you see a woman being kicked from behind as she walks down the steps of the Queens Plaza subway station in Long Island City. She is then hit over the head with a hammer as many as 13 times as she is shoved to the ground and robbed. There's also moped riding thieves and this home robbery suspect. You see him run up to the victim and point a gun at her waist as she is opening her front door.
We are under siege and we desperately need the help from law enforcement to eradicate the threats of violence that are plaguing our society here in the city of New York.
These videos are released by the NYPD almost every day, asking the public for their help in finding these violent criminals. The NYPD released its crime stats for the week of August 22nd through the 28th. Rape, robberies, assaults, burglary, grand larceny, all up compared to the same time last year. The only category that remained the same: murders. Meanwhile, surveillance cameras are everywhere, recording 24/7, yet some of the perps don't seem to care. But Porcher says it's been proven it's often the videos and photos that lead to arrests.
An armed robber got away with more than $100,000 and 1,000 blank money orders from a Bronx post office, according to the NYPD.
So the U.S. Postal Service is leading the investigation along with help from the FBI and the NYPD. According to detectives, a female victim in her 50s was targeted here at this U.S. Postal Service location in the Bronx at Castle Hill Avenue and Powell Avenue. Surveillance video from a nearby business shows the female victim and a man walking across the street toward the post office. This was this morning, according to the NYPD, and that man is the victim's husband. husband, we're told. The husband walks away, presumably as his wife starts work, and then you can see in the surveillance the suspect run towards the victim. Police say she was hit in the head with a gun. You see the husband runs over to help her. Police said the husband was responding to her cries for help, and then you can see the suspect forcing them into the post office. Surveillance also shows the suspect walking away with what looks like a big bag just a short time later.
The NYPD is searching for a pair of suspects involved in a gunpoint home invasion in Queens last month.
One of the suspects was seen on surveillance video pulling a gun on a 32-year-old woman as she was returning home from shopping. Then moments later, a second suspect arrived. Police say they struck the woman in the face. They tied her up, stealing $19,000 from a safe and $12,000 worth of jewelry. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-577-TIPS.
Okay, you saw nothing but crime, crime, crime. New York City has become a hellhole. When Rudy Giuliani was the mayor, and even Mike Bloomberg, New York City was safe and fun. I loved it. Now people are flocking from New York City. Let's think about what a brand is. A brand is the emotional connection that customers have with a vendor, a politician, or a city. So what's happening in New York because of all this crime? Well, as of just a couple of weeks ago, almost 42,000 people have left for Florida. They can't take it anymore. That's not what I would call a strong emotional connection. It's more like emotional rejection. Yet, Eric Adams can stand there with a smirk on his face and brag about how great New York is when it's the opposite. And what he does is he maligns a whole state of people who aren't experiencing this kind of crime at all. The brand of New York City used to be the city that never sleeps. It was fun. It was happening. You could have fun all day long, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Now what is it? Run for your life. And that's what people are doing. You have Alvin Bragg, the district attorney, who's either not prosecuting these thugs or ceremoniously putting them in jail for 15 minutes and then letting them out. So for Eric Adams to have the chutzpah, the audacity, to stand there with his cronies surrounding him, giggling, laughing, chortling about how great New York is, when people are getting robbed, they're getting killed, they're getting attacked. I would never drive my car in New York City. It would be stripped and bombed within 5 minutes. That's the brand of New York City, Eric. You're a damn fool. You have destroyed the city, and your predecessor, Bill de Blasio, led the way. So when you want to think about what a brand is, people have to be attracted to it like a magnet, not repelled. And New York City is almost destroyed. It would take a miracle to bring it back. Now, if you're having trouble with your company, of course, not on the scale of New York City, where customers don't know what your company does, don't understand your company, don't think that your company is differentiated at all from its 15,000 competitors, I can help you fix that. Just visit me at markrudov.com, contact me at markrudov.com, and we'll talk. Until next time.